Green Party leader Zach Polansky has held talks with several Labour MPs who may defect from the party. One Labour MP questioned about a possible defection was also collared by, and I'm assuming that means like grabbed at the collar, by a cabinet minister who accused them of being in contact with Polansky, according to a report in the Times. The MP said they were not planning to defect, but that Labour's humiliating defeat in the Gorton and Denton by-election showed Keir Starmer's party had lost its core votes. The MPs regularly speak with Polansky about news and policy, as well as amendments to legislation passing through Parliament, the Times said. A senior Labour source said the government was not concerned about potential defections to the Greens. Polansky has said before that he has spoken to Labour MPs who would prefer to be in his party, but don't feel it's a good idea to defect. When I talk to them, they say to me, they know they'd be happier in the Green Party, but for them, it's not an emotional, it's not an emotional decision right now. It's a strategic decision, and the strategic decision is that they have more power to influence things from within the Labour Party. Now, I actually doubt that. I think they would have more influence in the Greens than Labour. When we've seen when the left or the centre-left figures try and make change in Labour, they get kicked out. I mean, if you vote against the two-child benefit gap, you're gone. Now, a Green Party source said this. We are fully focused on winning as many seats as we can in the May elections. If more Labour MPs can now see the Greens as the party which most represent their values and are best placed to beat reform, then of course we can have discussions with them. But we've made it clear that we do not consider Starmer's Labour a progressive party. Now, the interesting question is who? I mean, some have floated Clive Lewis as a potential defector, as well as Nadia Whittome. Noah, I mean, do you think this is a good idea for the Greens? I mean, Reform has suffered with the litany of Tory defections. And, you know, the Greens, will they have the same issue and potentially lose their sort of anti-establishment credentials, if you will?
I think especially as a left-wing party, we've seen with your party how important it is to frame oneself correctly in the right-wing press media. And where we've seen your party perhaps fall foul to disorganisation, what we wouldn't want to see is the Greens fall foul to becoming an establishment figure such as Reform has done. I think what's important for Zach Polansky and the Green Party top brass to think about here is how much consistency is there with an entrant MP defecting from Labour with Green Party principles? Will they just come across as hypocrites? Will they come across as purely strategic? And will they come across as that classic career politician that the Green Party would like to rid themselves of? I think Clive Lewis is an interesting example because he just seems desperate to get out. You know, if you remember a few months ago, he was saying he would happily stand down from his constituency if it meant Andy Burnham could take up a position in Parliament. So I think there are maybe those long-time Labour loyalists who are still part of a party they no longer see as their own. But of that sort of 2024 class who are maybe just looking for their safest seat possible, I think we should be a bit more sceptical about their intentions.
Interesting about Clive Lewis. And I was reading, this is Twitter gossip, but I was reading on Twitter that he's very unpopular in Norwich with people on the ground, actually. And the Greens have a good chance of beating Labour in that seat, so why would you want that? Also, I mean, there were discussions with Clive Lewis. People were saying, does he want to leave the Labour Party? But then you also set up that group called Mainstream, which is like a soft left version of Momentum. I mean, all these groups within the Labour Party seem so pointless to me. I mean, from where I'm standing, I think it would be a bad idea because I think when Zach first became leader, they were talking about potential defections there. The scope of Green Party success was push Labour to the left, 30, 40 seats. And now Zach's saying, we want to replace Labour. I mean, they're polling 20, 21%. They're polling above Labour. So in my eyes, maybe they don't want to bring on some ex-Labour MPs because they're like, do you know what? We want to be the dominant force. And again, I mean, I think the Reform Party have suffered in the polling when you've got people like Robert Jenrick who's saying, you know, we need to fix Britain. And they're like, you are part of the problem. So how can you fix Britain? Maybe people might go, hold on a second, I'm voting for the Greens, not Labour. I don't like these Labour MPs. So let's say 3 or 4 MPs jump ship to the Greens. I'm not sure if that's even going to happen, but let's say that happens. Do you think, on balance, it could be worse for the Green Party? Because people will feel like, we left Labour to vote for the Greens. We don't want to be associated with this lot.
I think I agree with you on 2 points there. I think one, Zach Polanski shouldn't become too attracted by these great set piece moments of a defection. I know they are really enticing, especially for not one of the main duopoly parties. It is really important to get in the media headlines, but I don't think you should be too attracted to that. The second point is what you're really looking at there from the outside in as a voter, even myself as someone who's a fan of the Green Party, not necessarily a member. I'm thinking, oh, so if we allow a defection from a Labour Party, what we're essentially saying there is some level of coherence between 2024 Labour manifesto and current Green Party policy. And I think, considering Keir Starmer was one of the most unpopular prime ministers ever, that's something that the Green Parties want to stay far clear of, trying to sort of giving this image that there's any sort of consistency between those two portfolios of principles.
I think there's such a small amount of Labour MPs. Again, I'm not a Green Party member either. I guess I'm on the outside. But if I was a Green Party member, there'd be such a small amount of MPs I'd accept.
Yeah, I was going to say, we actually don't want losers. Is a big part of it. Like, there's a very unpopular batch of MPs, a very new batch of MPs with not much parliamentary credentials or experience. Are these really the kind of people that we want to have decorate the halls of a Green Party government, potentially?
Yeah, you've got people like Carl Turner who said, "I'm really, really against the shutting down of juries," and then he voted for it. That's the thing. Like, there's a bunch of people in the Labour Party who may say the right thing, but push comes to shove, they're pretty bad. I mean, maybe in my view, Nadia Whittome is probably the only person I'd accept. But
no, I do like Nadia Whittome.
Talent.
I think also if part of the Green Party's policies is trying to promote this sort of deliberative democracy and sort of inclusive way of debating within a parliamentary party. I think what we've seen from a lot of the Labour class, especially the younger generation of new Labour candidates or first-time Labour MPs, is a level of sycophancy to the NEC that is just not consistent with the kind of deliberative, vivacious democracy that we'd want in a parliamentary party.